Well, 2020 presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders, pictured right there with his wife Jane, has cemented his current status as the Democrat frontrunner with a big win over the weekend in Nevada. And that has some of the party establishment concerned over what impact his potential nomination as a socialist could have down the ballot. Watch this.
South Carolinians are pretty leery about that title, socialist. And so I think that would be a real burden for us in these states or congressional districts that we have to do well in.
It comes as a record number of Republicans filed to run for Congress. And joining us right now to discuss is GOP Senator David Perdue of the great state of Georgia. Senator, good morning.
Good morning.
That's a real fear. I mean, James Clyburn is the #3 Democrat in the House. If what they're thinking is true and so many people are turned off by Bernie Sanders, Nancy Pelosi and the leadership team are going to lose their jobs.
Well, we have every opportunity to get the House back. I mean, Bernie Sanders is a gift to the Republican Party and the economic turnaround that President Trump is executing right now. Look, we have the greatest contrast that America has ever had, I think, between two potential presidents here. On the one hand, you've got Donald Trump, who is executing the greatest economic turnaround in U.S. history. On the other hand, you've got Bernie Sanders, who's lived off somebody else his entire life, promising free stuff.
And so far, it's worked. It has worked for him. You know, he's promised most recently free preschool, free health care, free tuition, and, of course, legalized pot.
Well, if you look at what he's promising, it's the same thing that the Soviets did in Russia, the Germans did in '33, the Cubans did in '59, and even Venezuela today. It's a lie. And so what we're talking about here, Bernie is promising all this free stuff, Steve, but the very people who he's promising to will be the ultimate payers. They'll be the ones that'll have to pay. Let me give you an example. He says, well, we'll just tax the rich a little more.
Right.
To just do the Green New Deal, just the Green New Deal, would take the entire earned income of America, everybody, including these college students who are going to graduate and get jobs.
Well, I know that we've heard from the president referring to Bernie Sanders as a socialist for a very long time. And when you look at this poll, and it comes to us from the Wall Street Journal and NBC News, 67% of the country is uncomfortable with a socialist presidential candidate. But, Senator, that means that something like 30-something% of the country is okay with it.
Well, that's the most disturbing thing of our time. And frankly, it's to some degree people coming out of college right now and so forth that haven't seen a downturn in our economy or understand how our free market system works. Bernie Sanders is one of those, by the way. Look, Donald Trump is proving that what we believe in America really works, economic opportunity for everybody. He's really serious about that.
Right.
And this turnaround is real. 7.5 million new jobs, the lowest unemployment in 50 years, the highest middle-class income ever measured for African Americans in this country. 2.5 million people have been pulled out of poverty.
Well, it looked last week as if the one person who could derail Bernie Sanders was Michael Bloomberg until he stunk up the place with that debate last week.
Well, as an outsider to this process, and I think President Trump would relate to this too, it's tough to go on a stage with a bunch of professional career politicians. Look,
right.
you had a business guy on stage. He's gotten results before. It's a different world in the real world, and Donald Trump has proven that.
All right, Senator Perdue, thanks for stopping by. Yes, sir.